Good evening, everybody, and welcome here as we get set for knockout qualifying for race number 11 of the season. And we are down here in the beautiful country of Bermuda as we get set here to go racing at Bermuda Superspeedway. We just came off a very interesting road course race back at Gravity City Industrial Zone. That's what it was. I was thinking complex for some reason. I knew that wasn't correct, but now we're gonna go super speedway racing again. And this is really interesting too, because we ended up having Talladega not too terribly long ago, and now we're here at Bermuda, which is another SS track. And these super speedway tracks, they not only play a factor into that we could have somebody win the race and get into the chase for the championship, but also keep in mind that we've got the All-Star race coming up in about 2 more races after this one here at Bermuda. And that All-Star race, the way you qualify in basically is you win a race from last season before last year's All-Star race, or you win a race this season in one of the first 13 races. So you win this race, you're into the All-Star race. As we are looking here at the 14 of Andrew Davis, and you will notice that we no longer have the NNSCRA banner, and we don't have our cool little format and window and whatnot. That's pretty much because of the fact that Enter 2003 is on a new laptop here and everything, and I forgot how to actually put in that custom banner and all that. So we got this, and you probably can hear my dogs in the background too. They're playing, they're having fun, being silly. But Andrew Davis is about to complete his first timed lap. Crosses the line, and let's see what it's going to be. 47.179. But as we know, at any superspeedway track, you've got to be in a pack to be able to produce the highest speed. And I actually just realized I didn't flip the coin either. And let's see what it's going to be. And the coin lands on heads. So we do have 4 drivers transferring from this first heat, 3 drivers transferring from the second heat. So the top 4 in this heat will move on to the main event later on this weekend. We'll have the Almond Joy series here as well tomorrow night, so that'll be pretty interesting. That series has gotten more and more interesting as the weeks have gone on. Space is starting to run out as well for drivers to make their way into that 12-car chase. As first car to hit the 46 is Andrew Davis, 46.070. He was able to get the slipstream off the back of Stephen Pollard III, which kind of helped his lap time there. And now he's in the draft of the 9 car of Jordan Lopez. Whoa! It came right down in front of him, and that might have killed his momentum a bit. Right now, Davis still the fastest, then Dougie Shears, Colin Denton, and Hersheys Alonso. That's the top 4. As top of the leaderboard goes Jeremy Jones in the 7. Jones must be in some kind of a pack here. Well, no, not really. Actually drafting with Daniel Gilbert, who made his first start of the season last week. Almost went to victory lane last week at Gravity City. Ended up deciding that he couldn't make it the rest of the way. Came to pit road, gave up potentially the win, turning the lead and the win over to Blaine Keys. And right now, Gilbert en route to making his 2nd straight start, as right now he is inside the top 4 in that 4th position right at the moment. Jeremy Jones just ahead of him in 3rd, Hersheys Alonso in 2nd, and Andrew Davis in 1st. As now Jones jumps up to 2nd, Gilbert up to 3rd, drop Alonso down to 4th, just ahead of Italia Salinas and Dougie Shears. 40 seconds remaining. Joshua Osborne rather jumped up to 4th, and Jordan Lopez just jumped up to the top position, and that knocks Alonso out. So the 9 car of Lopez right now is fastest on track. This could be quite a group right here. It could do something. And one of them did. Italia Salinas jumped up to 3rd. Dougie Shears jumped up to 4th. And now Jeremy Jones and Daniel Gilbert have been knocked out of the top 4. Now it is Lopez, Davis, Salinas, and Shears, the top 4. That would transfer. And we've got 45 seconds left. Can anybody jump up into the top 4? Dougie Shear certainly hopes not. He's the guy that's right now in the final transfer spot, right on the bubble with a 45.691. Off the corner, let's see if anybody gets scored here. Got Mitchell Carter, Matthew Dallio back there. And it doesn't look like they got scored, or if they did get scored, their lap time didn't improve enough. And right there, oh, I just missed him. Right there, that yellow machine is the fastest car. Oh, Jeremy Jones just jumped up to 4th. With 3 seconds remaining, he eliminates Dougie Shears, and Jeremy Jones will get the final transfer spot in this first heat. So Jordan Lopez, Andrew Davis, Italia Salinas, and in a shot clock cheese, Jeremy Jones. Look like those will be the 4 that'll transfer into this week's main event at Bermuda. 5 seconds, 3, 2, should be official now, and indeed it is. So Jordan Lopez, Andrew Davis, Italia Salinas, and Jeremy Jones, those will be the drivers that will transfer into the main event here from the first heat. Just missing out Dougie Shears, Daniel Gilbert. Look at that, identical lap times, 45.691 for both of them. Alonso, Carter, McIntyre, and Osborne, they were the top 10, but only the top 4 transfer. All the way on down, these other drivers missed the race, including Shears, Sidner, Dallio, Dollerton, Denton, Baldwin, Andrews, Pollard, Kermika Jazin, Studemeyer, and Elijah Gordon. So the top 4 transfer, we have 3 more spots left to fill for this week's race at Bermuda. Let's go now to heat number 2, find out who those 3 drivers will be. Alright, so we'll get ready here for our second heat. And 3 drivers will transfer from this one into the main event. Nice to be getting back into the swing of recording races too, because for those that may not know, up until last week's Hersheys Cup Series race at Gravity City Industrial Zone, I actually had been transferring files over here to this laptop and all that, and had not been recording anything in the way of NR. And for those of you that watch YWC, you'll have seen that my latest episode of YWC SmackDown is not exactly as professional as it used to be. And you're going to see as well this heat session, all the stuff that goes on this weekend for Almond Joy, for Hersheys Cup, not exactly up to par with the professionalism, the editing that goes on as it has been in previous weeks. And it will more than likely remain that way for quite a while until I finally figure something out. I don't know if I'm going to resort to going back to my old laptop. I'm going to be able to find a way maybe to upgrade this laptop. A lot of big question marks. But fortunately NR runs on here. Fortunately I'm able to record on here. So even though it's not going to be completely up to par with what I usually put out, still going to have some videos out here. But biggest hit's going to be in the gaming respect, but this is NR, so I'm not even going to talk about NNSCRA gaming. But regardless, we've only got, wow, only about 3¼ minutes left in this session. And James Qualls, who was the first car off pit road, has yet to even complete his first timed lap. So yeah, these drivers not given a whole lot of time to go out there and lay down lap times. So if you think about it, in all honesty, at any regular super speedway, even if it was single car qualifying, all they would get would be 2 laps around this racetrack. So they're actually getting maybe an extra 1 to 2 laps here in this session, and trying to make the most of it here. Is for some reason Sean Henley was actually scored. I don't know if he left pit road ahead of Qualls or not. Is he up ahead here? No, he is not, so he must have been just behind. He must have... Oh, I guess probably what happened with Henley was when Qualls came around to complete his first time lap, Henley's pit box must have been just before the start-finish line, so it actually started scoring him there. Then when he came around to get the green flag to begin his first time lap, it still scored him, so kind of odd, but I guess that's what it did. Right now, it looks like Cole Deaver topped the leaderboard, first car in this heat to hit the 46 lap time. James Qualls, do you have anything to answer for that? 47.711, but not in the 46s like Deaver. Right now, Chelsea Bowles holds the final transfer spot. Let's jump back to the 66, see if we can find him. 66 with a good lap time, I can only assume might have been in a nice pack, and there you go, yeah, right here. This could be the group where a lot of speed could be found of maybe finding our top three. Cody Hagan, Cole Deaver, Jay Jefferson, who made his first start of the season last week, and Jason Haywood. And I think we just had some of these guys jump up the top of the leaderboard. We did indeed. Deaver up to the top, Haywood up to second, and Chelsea Bowles still hanging on to third. No longer. Jonathan Zorlin has now jumped up to third, and John Bunnell just jumped to second. So they are swapping the top three quite a bit here as they've now caught up. This group is caught up to Tripentakio Vernio, who, let's not forget, very first Hersheys Cup Series start was at a super speedway. What did he do? He put the car in victory lane. That was last year at M&M's. About to catch up to James McLeod too, so we're going to have about 6 cars here in this pack. This could be the group that produces the speed, and I would not be surprised if our top 3 that transfer into the main event can be found right here in this group. Haywood top of the leaderboard, Jefferson to second, and Cole Deaver down to third. And just as I predicted, our top 3 are in this group right here. But it doesn't mean those 3 that are in there right now are going to be in there for long. And now Zorlin jumped up to third, now loses it. John Bunnell up to third. So now Cole Deaver on the outside looking in. So is Cody Hagan. A couple of drivers in this group. They're about to get the draft off the back of Sean Henley as well. Oh, Ryan George, 45.904 up to the top of the leaderboard. Chelsea Bowles jumped up to third. We still got 40 seconds left. Somebody from this group's going to jump back up into the top 3, I can tell. And it's going to be Cole Deaver, Jefferson, Ryan George. That's the top 3 now. Let's jump back. Zorlin, did he beat it? Did Duncan beat it? No. Qualls top of the leaderboard. 45.560. Oh, look out! DJ Curtis making contact with Zachary Stoltz, and Stoltz into the wall! Stoltz into the wall with Daniel Olson. Oh, look out, sliding down to the inside of the racetrack. Everybody looks like they're going to be able to avoid him, but Curtis made contact with Stoltz. Stoltz tried to save it, came back up the track, and collected Daniel Olson. It didn't really make much of a difference. Neither of those drivers were going to transfer into the main event regardless, as Qualls with a 45.506. And John Bunnell just 3/1000 slower. They're the top 2. Cole Deaver is up in the 3rd spot, as I believe the times are no longer being scored, and I believe that's going to do it. Zeros on the clock. Session is complete, and the 3 drivers that will transfer from this heat into the final 3 spots in the field are going to be James Qualls, John Bunnell, and Cole Deaver. I believe for all 3 of these drivers, this will be their 2nd starts of the season. Question mark on Bunnell. He may have made a previous start. Well, I think he started at Las Vegas. He might also have started at Eldora. I do not remember. But regardless, those are the 3 drivers that will transfer. Jay Jefferson, so close, not going to be able to make it. His teammate Ryan George, both of them, so close to making it in, but they come up just short. Jason Haywood, Cody Hagan, Chelsea Bowles, Jonathan Zorlin, and Lyndon Wright were your top 10. Everybody else failed to transfer as well, failed to make the show, and they'll have to try again next week. So we know the 7 drivers that are now going to be in the positions 36 through 42 in the starting lineup here. We'll have to find out what the rest of the starting grid looks like when we have our Hersheys Cup Series race. But first, the Almond Joy Series heads here for Super Speedway Racing at Bermuda. That'll be interesting, so a lot to come here this race weekend at Bermuda. Hope you'll stay tuned. Thanks for tuning into this knockout qualifying session, and we will see you guys as we continue on the race weekend here at Bermuda on the NNSCRA Sports Channel. Offline racing at its best.